Halo, halo. To znowu, kurwa, miałem wyciszony na początku. To znowu ja, dzisiaj jest nadal 25 marca 2020 roku. Czekajcie, ale super. Co to za ziomek jest?
Ah! Watch where you're going, you lout! You
No,
nearly killed me!
zaraz ci dam, ty. Godzina jest 12:20, kontynuujemy granie w Kingdom Come. I jedziemy do questa już. Jestem blisko. Zaszyła mnie. W ogóle wiedzieliście, że ona oprócz szycia też bierze mi te wszystkie rzeczy? Tereska? Zajebista jest. Jest najlepszą postacią w tej kurwa grze. Jak do tej pory. Szczepanka by mi takiego czegoś nie robiła. Dobra. I tu zaraz gdzieś powinien być ten obóz. Przekimałem się do 6. Obóz Kuna, o. No i super, kaccenka. Kto tam idzie? Pokażcie się. No.
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno.
No.
Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
Kurwa, co za gnój jebany.
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue.
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. When the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me. I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief.
Okej, czyli języka nie ma, typek.
These here are the Bearman brothers. Petter and Jan. They're a
Oh.
barrel of laughs. Except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though. When their blood is up, well, it ain't a pretty sight.
30 FPS-ów, jaka
Pleased
piękna
to make your
kasenka.
acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan! You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance! And you, Dangler! Stand your ground! Don't let him lead you round by the nose!
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobler.
Ah, it's about time Radzig got round to this. We need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsying. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here. Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving. Snot-nosed brat. You pull him out of a pile of shit, and they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. Well, as I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right.
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. They still ended up on the wrong end of one. We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do.
Sure.
No problem, Chief. Powinien powiedzieć Henry, ty kurwa debilu jebany. Powinien tak mu powiedzieć, to wtedy by zapamiętał. Obwiesia mam w walce rozjebać. No dawaj kurwa obwieś. Kurwa zdychaj, dostałeś w łeb, ty. No, zaatakuj kurwa. Nie dam się kurwa pokonać, ty. Frajerem nie jestem, ty. O, nie trafiłem. Za daleko był. Kurwa, dobry jest. Znaczy, dużo hapeków ma, ty. Kurwa, znowu nie trafiłem. Ty, o Jezu, ty, zadał mi nawet damage jakiś, ty. Powiem wam, że w końcu to jest jakiś przeciwnik, który wiecie, coś mi robi, ty.
Is that all you've got?
O kurwa, udało mi się mnie z tego skontrować, ty. O ty, teraz mi tutaj pokonał. O, teraz już mu się nie dam.
Fuck it!
Ja w ogóle tych kompasów nie korzystam z nich, nie? O, kurwa, klikałem kół.
Yeah!
O, od razu obrona. Dobra, skontrolujmy go jakoś. No i pyk.
You didn't fare badly at all, I must say. You can ride with us.
All right, good. Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Opowiedz sobie.
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want to know?
O szlachcie.
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family lost its wealth. How did that happen?
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easier. Especially when your father's a fool. And your mother's mad as a bat.
Oh.
But it's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickval Castle. But that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz. And my father only leased it. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in Tynitz.
Okej.
Oh, you might have been after a bit of both.
Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, I can see the convenience of it. Anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Pa's escapades drove her cuckoo entirely. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window. I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames. Behind her, the stables, the farm buildings and the tower were burning too. And she just stood there, shrieking with laughter.
Christ. That sounds like a scene straight out of hell.
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father. Or my little brother. Poor lad was only 7. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. Then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near a Kovnik. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela was to get it all as a dowry.
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family, right?
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. Of course, I argued with them, and that was the only excuse they needed to kick me out of Drevich too.
That's pretty harsh.
You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you can turn your hand to something, you never be lost. I doubt it ever crossed his mind how often I'd remember those words.
Kurwa ty.
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold...
Is all...
Aha, dobra, to już było.
Well, nobles...
Not my old man. He cursed like a tanner's hand. More than once, he threatened to take a whip. Anyway, my mother...
Dobra. Jak coś
What about your
różnikiem?
debt to Sir Radzig? How did that come about?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with the delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue, with a sharp mind and a merry soul. We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together, with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling the Colleen same as I was. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their lives hell for a good 6 months. On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there. Colleen is a royal city, so he was there to represent the king's interests.
I see. So he was on the other side.
That's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, and a few days later word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the burghers. Only part of the deal was they would give them my head. And I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he could see it was a dirty trick, so he somehow squared things with the city council.
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help. This is the third time, and how could I refuse him?
Okej, czyli on tak mocno tłukł tych ludzi, że kazali, że w ramach umowy dali mu jego głowę. Okej, super.
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they call Dangler?
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the smell of the fellow nearly every time he was right, and the fellow tried to stab me in the back afterwards.
Those Behrman brothers are quite a pair.
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you on the spot, they'd do it, without batting an eyelid.
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. But they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers, the pair of them. Reliable, as long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But nobody's perfect.
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching, for one thing, he's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to join your band?
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time. You'll find he has quite a knack for that.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his trust.
Oh, now you've got me curious. Maybe I should ask him myself.
Sure, why not? Our Fletch does love to converse.
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with you?
The stone? Oh, he just kind of tagged along.
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olomouc to a castle past Kladsko, when we ran into him and some other wayfarers camping along the way. You know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on together. After all, there's safety in numbers.
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of, but wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg, and the rest in Kladsko. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after, but of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Bearman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped down and felled Petter with one punch. Well, a man who can do that is a man you want on your side. So we kept him.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if he can't talk, he can't tell. Besides, I've had worse.
What about Jakey?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And unlike those other cutthroats, he seems to me like a good lad.
Well, you're pretty hard on him, though. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
The boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. 2 is more than enough.
Dobra,
Should we
słyszałem
ride
na
out?
patrol?
Aye, we ought to set
Powiem
out on
ci-
patrol about now. Hope you've got your kit ready and whatnot. I'd like to head to the north. Is there anything interesting that way?
North of here, Samapesh and Merhoyed are that way, and Talmberg is a bit further on. There's stables in Merhoyed,
I wouldn't mind paying a visit to those stables. We can go through there.
and from there,
From there, we'll follow our noses. Something interesting is sure to turn up. I feel it in my bones. Mount up and let's go!
sure. Chief.
Zła krew. Okej, a nie chciałem nic mówić, żeby ładnie wszystko wyszło. O kurwa ty, ale ekipka idzie. Marchoje. Aha. Żeby wszystko było powiedziane dobrze. Kunem. O, goddammit. O, nie muszę jechać, ty. Jadę sobie tako. Piesek nasz. Dobra, to jest lotka.
What a fine day, eh, brother?
Indeed, brother.
You know what I like best about days like this, Jan?
The scent of chamomile
wolniej?
wafting from the hillsides.
Among other things.
Ah, like the rounded hills, rising, purtling, all soft and pink in the sunlight.
And the fertile valley below, spreading wide and inviting.
Dew glistening in a mossy hollow.
The sweet aroma of honey in the air.
The sturdy poplar, standing tall and erect.
Aye. It reminds me of that day. That day when the two of us fucked Fletcher's ma.
Very droll. You'd make a stuffed bird laugh.
Your ma's a stuffed bird. I stuffed her myself.
I can't smell any chamomile.
Well, men, how are things?
May I?
Yes, Fletch?
How shall I put it? I'm a little concerned about the prospects in these parts, Chief.
Oh? How's that?
I've been looking around, and if you'll pardon me, it seems to me that we've been stuck for a long time in the arsehole of beyond.
It's not...
On tam, żeby wyjaśnić, bo tam napisy się nie pojawiają, mówi Dobra, panowie, co myślicie o tej sytuacji? A ten mówi właśnie, że coś słabo, bo czuje, że ktoś ich
What I
obserwuje.
mean to say is, I haven't got any new kit or arrows since the day Jakey joined us. It makes me uneasy, Chief.
I see. What about the rest of you?
I don't know what Fletch is moaning about. There's plenty of booze and loose wenches nearby.
Not to mention fools in the taverns who don't know when to stop rolling those dice.
Dangler?
It's the arsehole of Beyond everywhere we go. It always makes me uneasy.
Jakey?
Fletch can complain. I was supposed to get a suit of armor, and all I got was a shitty kettle hat.
Sorry, but they don't do hauberks in girls' sizes.
Oh? Well, how did you get yours then?
All right, I appreciate your honesty, lads. Don't worry, there will be plunder. We're here to fight, and to the victor the spoils. That's how it's always been. But no purse of silver will shed blood for you on the battlefield. That's what this company is for. And I hope you never forget the golden rule. You can joke all you want, moan all you want, but nothing will keep your skins in one piece better than trusting your leader, who you choose by your own free will. So don't ever forget
Ogień.
that.
Amen.
Chief, think there's something going on over there.
Let's go! Behind me, and keep your eyes peeled.
Dobra, pojadę sobie obok, żeby po prostu widzieć te ich wszystkie dialogi tak naprawdę, bo była lipa trochę. Kurwa, tutaj jadą jakimś cwałem. Powinien stępa czy coś.
What do you think we can expect this time, fellas?
Groschen, hidden in a piss pot under the bed. A nice chunk of beef. No one there will be eating.
On account of it'd just fall out through the holes in their bellies, eh, brother?
My mouth is already watering, brother, and I ain't even touched a purse yet.
Once you get your hands on some loot, I'll be happy to play you for your hard-earned groschen back of the camp.
Poor old Fletch. Never gets to see the action from close up.
What about you, Dangler? What do you expect to find?
Futility and human suffering, like always.
Always full of good cheer, eh, Dangler? Why don't you take a leaf out of Stone's book and shut the fuck up?
Jesus, I wish you'd all shut the fuck up.
Keep your eyes peeled, though. There might be someone hiding out here still. Look for clues and question the survivors, if there are any.
Dobra. Chodźmy, Hyżo, w takim razie, ale lagi są tu jakieś przesłuchanie. No nie to. Zła krew. Kurwa mać.
Jesus Christ, what a massacre.
Strzały. Kukumanie.
They weren't even armed.
W sumie bandyci by...
Looks like it happened fast.
Ten dostał pewnie pierwszy, bo strzałą dostał.
God almighty.
O, tutaj. Krów nie wybili, czyli może nie kukumanie. Bo nie raczej jak przychodzą, to wszystko wybijają. Usiądź. Ktoś srakę zrobił, kurwa, tak żeby mu po bokach poszło. Ktoś tam coś mówi, ty. Co za kurwa jebany niedźwiedź. Coś
You
masz?
found anything interesting?
Fuck all. They cleaned him out good and proper. But one fellow was still alive.
No.
And what did you do with them?
Don't you worry. I seen plenty of wounded fellas, and he wouldn't have made it. So, I put him out of his misery.
I see. And did he tell you anything?
He mumbled something about some Lord something. Zool, I think.
Zool? I never heard the name.
Me neither. But I don't know too many nobles.
Ja pierdolę.
More bread. I could open a bakery.
Ten... Jeszcze jak zdobija, wiecie, rannych, czy tam to pół biedy. Przeszukuje trupy, pół biedy, ale...
Still smouldering.
A radish from a
Whoever torched it can't have got
Weź
very
przestań
far.
pierdolić, Henryku. Cała chałupa się spaliła. Na pewno byłoby ciepło, nawet gdyby, kurwa, dzień tutaj to poleżało. Okej, czyli przeszukali to miejsce, okej.
Poor wretch.
Psa w domu zabili? To ciekawe. O! Dobra, to zaraz sobie przeszukamy, bo tu coś ciekawego jest. No i tutaj też nic nie ma. Co to jest? Jakaś kurwa tarcza, sztylet.
Kuno will want to know about this.
Szlachty Zulu, pan list do pana Radzika. Dobra. Może ktoś przeżył? Wątpię. Dobra, tam też nic nie ma. Jeszcze coś tu jest? Kamień się modli. Pobożny człowiek. Może księdzem był, albo coś. Jeszcze przeczytam ten list. Pan Radziku Kobyło, ty pozbawiono skrupułów bestią, chrześcijańską moralność mająca za nic, oskarżam cię, zapomniałeś o honorze i wielkich cnotach, kiedy dopuściłeś się aktów okrucieństwa i wrogości wobec mnie oraz moich przodków. Za popełnienie tych nikczemnych czynów, które na pewno dobrze pamiętasz, nazywam cię kundlem. Rzucam ci wyzwanie, staw mi czoła w pojedynku, jak przystało rycerzowi, przestań ukrywać się tchórzliwie za zamkowymi murami, jako szlachcic broń honoru swojego, jak i całego twojego rodu. Jeśli tego nie zrobisz, zacznę przemierzać twoje ziemię twoje i zgodnie z prawdą będę oznajmiać wszystkim napotkanym ludziom, że jesteś haniebnym nędznikiem, niezasługującym na towarzystwo przyzwoitych ludzi. Jako znak twojej hańby każę przytwierdzić tarczę z twoim herbem do pręgierza. Przysięgam przed Bogiem, że działam w słusznej sprawie, zobligowany honorem mojej rodziny a na to, co robię, w pełni sobie zasłużyłeś. Mój żal jest skierowany tylko przeciwko tobie, ale im dłużej będziesz się tchórzliwie ukrywać, tym dłużej będą przebywać w swojej prowincji i ją grabić. Niech odpowiedzialność za to spadnie na twoją głowę. Podpisano 2 dnia czerwca roku pańskiego 1403 Hegenzul. Powiem szczerze, że jak na gościach, który jakoś sobie tutaj tylko chce taki bardzo chrześcijański jest i chce tylko sprawiedliwości, to nieźle kurwa zrobił, że wybił ludzi tutaj. Myślałem, że tu mogę coś zrobić, ale to chyba był tutaj ten nasz ludzik. Dobra, z tym nie pogadam. Idę się jeszcze innych popytać, czy coś znaleźli. To chyba niedźwiedź numer 2 jest. Tutaj jest ten chyba Stefan, co umie pogadać. Jakieś ślady?
Did you find any tracks?
Some, a horse or two. They rode off through the meadow towards dawn. They were avoiding the road, which is interesting.
Towards dawn?
Meaning towards the east. Apart from the mounted ones, there were some men on foot too. Well weighed down.
Well, they can't move too fast then.
No. And what's more, they left a trail of blood. One or more of them might be wounded. Either that, or they dragged off some poor bastard from here.
Nice work. Thanks.
Dobra, ale kurwa ślady krwi to ja powinien chyba widzieć. Ku świtu. Północ, wschód. Tak, północ, wschód, tam. Koniec odcinka jest, ale jeszcze... Czy jest tu ten lotka, czy... Znaczy ten chłopaczek? Nie widzę go. Dobra, w tamtą stronę. Niestety nie widzę krwi, ale chodźmy do tego domku, może będzie coś w nim ciekawego. Ale to już w następnym odcinku. Do następnego, siemano.